Hello, welcome to Everyday Experts. I am your host, El Capitan of the ship, Sir Joker, Achille Joker, whatever you would like to call me. Something that, preferably has Joker in the title. I got my boys with me today. We're going to be talking a lot of sports, a lot of current events. We're going to be talking, we might talk a little politics because, and a little financial stuff because Mitch is doing some Ponzi scheme because he's always doing a Ponzi scheme. So yeah, Mitch is going to be dropping in as a surprise guest. Got a lot of stuff we're going to talk about, but the guest of honor is my friend Coach Ray Eatman. He is Coach, Dad, and Coach and Dad Coach, and he is a man that's doing a lot of different things. I'm going to start calling him Rayzel because apparently he's got some movie deals brewing. But I'll let him talk about that. Coming to the motherfucking stage, the man of the hour, Coach Eatman.
Church of Light Skin. We in the building.
Light Skin.
We're in the building.
Also coming to the stage, yes, I found him. I dug him up from the nether regions of the world. He is running another Ponzi scheme. Some people might call him Bernie Madoff, or like B.O.B. said, even Martha Stewart left the airplane in a jet. My man who's running major Enron schemes. Some call him Mitchell. I call him Mitchell.
I wish I was running Ponzi schemes. I'd have a hell of a lot more money.
Money making Mitch.
So, fellas, what's good? What's good?
Everything's good, man. Just busy with the kids, the family. You know how it goes.
I don't know how that goes.
No, Mitch, you escaped.
You don't. Mitch, you don't.
I got no idea how that goes.
I'm still learning. I'm still a young pup in this. I'm still a young pup. So
let's throw some shout outs. I want to give a shout out to Heather. Today she had her baby shower. She's due in June. So she's having her first one. Shout out to my other BFF, Robo. I want to give an early birthday shout out to Ayana. Gonna be 1-8 next week.
Woo!
that's crazy.
Graduating high school. I'm not worried though, because y'all can attest she's one of the most focused young people that I know.
She got more stability than all of
us. Also want to give a shout out to my darling soon to be BFF-in-law Teresa, who's listening. Mitch said that we're not friends yet, so I'm saying, what's up, Teresa? Fuck Mitch and fuck what he thinks. That's it.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right. All right, fellas. First question, because I asked you both the werewolf question. First question is, if you could come out to any theme song, WWE style, what song would it be, and why?
Mitch, you go first. I already got this.
I've known this answer forever. And I mean, it's easy to reference because a fighter used to do it. Anderson Silva, UFC. Boy. He came out to the DMX intro from It's Dark and Hell is Hot. That's my jam. That is the ultimate come out, get just focused and get ready to get nasty. Like,
right, that means like we're gonna run some major Enron scams. I hear you.
Exactly.
Gonna give it to you. Oh, you should change it. Martha gonna give it to you. Big Light Skin. What song you coming out to?
Public service announcement. Jay-Z.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I used to have like my college team. We used to put that song on first when we came out, and my boys did it for me because no matter what you do, no matter I gotta reintroduce myself every time, every single time. I gotta reintroduce myself. You know
Yes.
what I could do?
Yes. I quoted that shit on my buddy's Saturday morning Zoom call. He always like calls me out to come up with some kind of quote. So I ran with that and just paraphrased it to make it fit the call. But yeah, that song, man, you can't go wrong with that.
I like it.
That or Return of the Mac, the long version. The long version.
Oh Lord.
The long version play the instruments first.
Oh,
It hits your soul differently. You two-step a little harder. You know what I'm saying?
Be doing laps around the ring.
Oh boy, that's a lot. You know what I'm coming out to, right? Hey, Mr. Carter. That's it.
You can get pinned because that song is too like nice.
I come out to that, or if I was gonna come to a not Jay-Z song, I would come out to Time for Some Action.
Okay.
I read that would be dope. So there's been a lot of stuff going on. Ray, we were talking before the show started. There's been a lot of these stories in the news. So you were saying that Chris Brown and his boys, tried to accost Usher. There've been a lot of things going on in the news. There's a bunch I want to talk about, but I do want to talk about Ja Morant. Mitch, I don't know. Do you know what happened with Ja?
I know enough. I know the bare details of it. So
in his Ponzi scheme. So Ja Morant basically did a bunch of dumb stuff, went live on, what was it, IG?
Yeah, something like that.
Went on Instagram Live, flashed his gun because he was apparently shooting a music video. That's what I've heard.
I didn't hear that. I didn't
hear that either.
I don't know if that's true. I've heard
sounds like a real good workaround.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't hear that at all.
Right. That's what I heard. But apparently this was in Denver, and somehow he snuck his gun on the plane, and it became a whole bunch of semantics and stuff. But we hear a lot of stories about. We're hearing a lot about, especially players doing dumb stuff.
Achilles, can I cut you off for 1 second? I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I just got a text from my boy Neo, and he said, "Why does Mitch look fake?"
What?
He said, "Why
your background? Why's your house look fake?"
It's a virtual background. I can switch that shit up. We can put up a brick wall. I can put up my logo. I can put up little shield. Put my book up there. Put my real estate book up there. Little Amazon.
What it is? He a funny dude. Me and him joke all the time. So it might have been him just joking, or it's
100%.
I never know, but it's hilarious.
Well, that's the stock StreamYard one, because StreamYard wasn't letting me access my personal photos. So because I wouldn't have a piano. I know that much. Yeah. No piano at my house, that's for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, I didn't know they said that he shot a music video. That was weird.
That's what I heard early on. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's fake, but that's what I heard. And I just thought it was it's interesting because now first of all, there's always a camera on you, and they have cameras on these athletes all the time, 24/7.
Oh, yeah.
And then they judge them for the stuff that they're doing. Like, what do you want him to do? Not saying that he was right.
I mean, the problem with everything is that as much like you sign up for the extraness, like we know what it entails. Let alone when they put 200, 300 million behind you, you got to be a saint. And this is a dude who doesn't have a concrete background of coming up in the hood and the gutter with nothing. This is a guy who had two parents who raised him, quote unquote, the correct way. Where his dad played high school with Ray Allen and was good friends with Ray Allen. Where that's a opening to a life where you got to move a certain way. His mom played college sports as well, where it's an opening to where you got to move a certain way. Like if he had that upbringing of oh, he was born and lived in the hood, didn't have nothing, and he's still reverting back to his old roots. I get it, but he's someone where it's coming, but he's come from a 2-parent household, which raised him correctly, quote unquote, and he wants to live a certain lifestyle he don't have to live. All those people he living with, they going to home to BS when he could pop in, pop out when he wants to. Let alone on some dude stuff. In the video, it was like 6 or 7 dudes and no chicks. So what music video you shooting?
Listen, that's
right?
what I heard.
Right? What are you shooting?
So I do think it's important that a lot of times you have these professional athletes that came from broken homes.
Yes.
You know, in a juxtaposition they never talk about is you talk about LeBron and all of this and all of that. But and you know, like the Kevin Durant and all that stuff. But then you have Jordan, who came from a 2-family household. You know, and Jordan was, you know, suited and booted all the time, and you know, he was like he had it all laid out, right?
But to be contradictory with myself, though, is his dad walk around looking like Usher, looks like he wants to be young himself.
He does. That's his name, T. Morant.
Yep, T. Morant. Yep.
And it's interesting because all this happened, and his dad's right there.
Mm-hmm.
His dad's right there. Mitch, what do you think?
You know what the funny part is? The only reason I have I feel like perspective on this is because your boy Shaq spoke on it, and I saw that, and he basically was just saying, you know, come on, young fella, you got to be smarter. Like, you know, you got all the keys, like you got all the things, like, you know, there's certain things that, you know, can be led to that taken away. You know, and just you gotta stay away from those things. Don't do those things. Like, you know, it's not like he basically says, like, it's not that hard. Like, you know, there's certain things you gotta just basically stay away from and not do. And, you know, therefore you're not at risk of fucking losing all this, you know, losing everything that you built.
Right. What's crazy is that as we all have phones, which is cameras to things, and we could put out on our own stuff, it didn't come from anyone else's account. They came from his. They came from his. Like Shaq giving that advice. Shaq's equating his size to the popularity of Morant. Besides Shaq being Shaq, because Shaq couldn't do certain things. No. Because he was 7'2". Like how Tristan Thompson used to get caught up. It's like, bro, you are 7 feet in a club where they're gonna know you're somebody. Where Morant is Morant, where you doing these things, they know who you are, bro. Like, it's not like you the regular dude who's able to, you the John Stockton on the dream team could go over to Barcelona and blend in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're somebody who they know who you are, and then you're putting out on your social media, you're telling on yourself. Mm-hmm. So you don't have nobody to blame but yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it was. Shaq's just like, yo, like, it's hard enough when you're not, you know, doing it yourself, and like you said, he basically called himself out. You know, it's like he blew up his own spot. It's like you got to worry about enough, you know, with other people trying to do that.
Mm-hmm. So, Ray, this question was originally for you, but Mitch, I do think you have a perspective. Do you think that, or how do you think this is kind of like reflective of the kids nowadays? Like, and, you know, do you, and the second part to that question is, do you think, and it doesn't have to be kids, it could be generational. How do you think it's reflective of the generation? And do you think it has an impact on young players?
Mitch, you go first if you like. If you want me to go first.
I mean, yeah, I think it's, for me, it's just, you know, the younger generations pretty much live and die on social media. And it's almost like if it's not on social media, it didn't happen. You know what I mean? Which is exactly why, you know, it, as much as it's baffling to me what Morant did, it's also not, because it goes back to just that, you know, that mindset where it's just like, if it's not on social media, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's interesting. It's, you know, one of the pitfalls to social media, you know, pros and cons to everything. So that's one of the cons, but, yeah, I don't see it being something that's going to unwind. I see it just being perpetuated even more.
Yeah, Mitch, I think you're absolutely correct. They treat it like if it's not on social media, it doesn't happen. But then also on the parenting aspect, where it's different generations. We used to have combating generations. Like my generation was better than your generation. Your generation sounds stupid. And it's like our generation sounds stupid too, but we grew up on it. So that's what we knew. Like
Right.
his dad is trying to be this generation, which condones that. And then what makes this generation think it's still okay is look at the Dylan Brooks situation. Dylan Brooks talked junk about a basketball game. The one thing I didn't, when he talked about LeBron, the one thing I didn't like is that when it didn't go well, he didn't stand for questioning when you was talking a bunch of junk. But they're trying to make it seem like it's his fault they lost. When this Ja Morant situation is bigger, where they lost continuity, where they lost people trusting him, where they lost these things. Where I was in a barbershop today and I was like, hey, do y'all think if Ja Morant didn't go through this, they would have lost the series? They're like, oh, that was regular season. That didn't have nothing to do with it. It's like, to me, it did. He missed 9 games because he chose to miss 9 games. Not suspended. He chose to. And when he came back, they threw him right into the lineup. And then now you're playing a veteran team. It's different. But society, they feed into the attention-seeking stuff because that's what social media is. But then now when your job, because you're worth some money, they allow you to feed into this. It makes you feel like I'm still okay with this. Now, if he would flip-flop, if it was Ja talking junk to LeBron, they wouldn't have cared. If Dylan Brooks was the one who got into what Ja got into, he wouldn't have been there to be there for the playoffs. They would have just kicked him off the team. It would have been over, you know? But it's the attention-seeking thing, and then the business make it seem like it's okay because if I invest in you, then I'm letting you do it because you're worth more than – well, we could make more than what you're worth at one thing, but on the other aspect, it's we don't want to lose this, you know? Because like you said, Mitch, with the whole generation, take Ja out of it. They look for you see these bullshit challenges. You see these dances they're doing. You see all this extra stuff. It's crazy. But I'm going to say this too. I can say it's crazy because I'm from a different generation. Hey, I'm from a generation where we had them big-ass T-shirts looking stupid as hell. And we was Harlem shaking and stuff. And people looked at us differently too, you know?
Make this money.
Yeah, exactly. So as much as I can say what they're doing now is dumb, hey, we did the same thing. We was wearing headbands regularly, not to hoop. To
wear. My friend, my roommate, whatever he is. Mitch, I live with Dylan. I never told you that.
No, you did.
Oh, did I? Yeah, he said that Dylan Brooks is a bum, and he said he's giving Adam a bad name.
That's hilarious.
If they had a few other guys, they would have won that, whether Dylan Brooks talked junk or not, because they were missing the big dude, the Adams. Yeah, and they was missing another guy too. So.
And I want to stay with current for a second because Devin was at an AAU tournament, and you guys both know that you both played with me. You know I don't talk on the court. So, and I know the kids do this now. So Devin started talking. I was just like, man, I told him at one point, I said, shut up and play ball. I said, stop talking. Like at some point, just play ball. Do you think that it's becoming just normalized for these kids to talk about their game as opposed to let their game play?
But it's a difference in talking. When you're talking about the game, it's one thing. But when you're getting disrespectful, like the dudes who suck are disrespectful. The dudes who suck are like roasting on the court. The dudes who's talking, they're talking basketball stuff. You can't guard me, something like that. The dudes who suck are like, well, you look like blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's two different ways because the dudes who could play and talking junk, after the game, you dapping up, you respect it. The dudes who aren't good talking junk, after the game, it's like, let's see what they was talking. Let's see if they really want to fight like they was talking on the court.
Right.
And that's the difference.
Right.
Now, where the attention seekers are, they don't understand. No matter how much shit you could talk, your game is what matters.
Right.
Because I could be terrible at talking shit, but I'm on the court getting busy. That's what matters. For me telling you I dropped 50 on you, you could call me ugly.
Yeah.
You could say I look like this. You could say I look like that. I dropped 50. You know what it is? The worst comeback ever, but it's the truth. Scoreboard.
Right. Yeah. So one of the things that I found when I was really young, I used to play in these tournaments with a bunch of guys, 22, 23. and they were always trying to get in my head, blah blah blah. You're soft and all, but it was never ever disrespectful, like you said. And after the game, I would see them. Oh, hey, what's up? That's it. Keep them. It was never, I don't like you. I'm mad and all that stuff. So to illustrate my point further, Devin's playing against one of the AAU teams for Sousa, Progressive, Promote, something like that. And
playing basketball.
Premier, and one of the kids from Brentwood, so hits a shot and blows a kiss to Devin, right? I was just like, he hits the shot. He goes, "Oh,
what does Devin kiss him back?"
Into the game, 1 minute into the game, the first shot
wasn't even a game winner. Wasn't a half like.
No. See, to me,
He's got to be a performer now. That's the problem, and that is perpetuated by what? Social media.
Yeah.
But the same as kids hit threes now. The first thing they're doing is putting up a three. It's like, yep, they doing all this extra stuff. Yeah. They care more about the celebration looking good than actually doing what they're supposed to do.
It was kind of funny that they're remake, which I'm sad to actually doing a remake of White Man Can't Jump. I'm not going to lie. I just leave it alone.
Did you see the trailer for it?
It does kind of look funny, but I'm still disappointed that they're remaking it. But it goes back to what he said back in the day. You got to look good first, win second.
But listen. I'm going to tell you this. Me going to school in Maine, where I would have never got hustled like they did in White Man Can't Jump. Because when you're going up in the Northeast, I don't care about where it is. In the Northeast, them dudes with no type of swag, no type of nothing, look like nerds and whatever. Those were the dudes who got it in. They knew how to play the game, and they knew how to get
John Stockton's walking around.
But we all played in the Northeast because me and Mitch played in North Adams in Massachusetts, and you played in Maine. So it's like that.
Y'all know what it is. You looking at Poindexter. You're looking at Poindexter.
We actually had a cat on our team that looked like Poindexter, and he could hoop.
Yo, Amherst,
yeah.
Amherst used to get it, and all those kids were doctors. Like,
yo, let me tell. We played Amherst, and we played them in a non-league game. One of the dudes came down court. I think he threw it off the backboard and caught a dunk, and I was like you said, you. When you get to a certain level, and this is what people don't understand about like the difference between the D1, the D2, and the D3. You're playing D3 guys that can still play. You're not talking about bums.
No, but it's not even that they can still play. You had D3 guys whose parents relayed the fact that 0.0001 makes the NBA.
Yeah.
So it's like we gotta find a way for you to find a profession to fuel your family. Mm-hmm. So their mindset is, I'm going somewhere I could achieve something. And if playing basketball is there too, that's the extra. Where a lot of us, and I put me in it as well, a lot of us was like basketball first, and whatever degree I could get was extra. Mm-hmm. So now, if they flipped it, they might be able to play at a higher level, but their priority isn't about doing that because they were raised a different way than we were, And I don't care whatever community you come from, when you're watching ESPN every day, somebody like me, when I did it, when I saw Duke, North Carolina all the time, the priority was I want to play in front of that crowd at Duke because it was fire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where with them, it's like, hey, I would love to do that, and I might have the ability to do it, but my parents always taught me that I might not make it that far in that. So I'm going to find something I can make it further in. And if I'm able to play here, I'm giving that school a boost, and this is a plus to it.
Right. I don't know if you heard, I don't know, Shams reported that apparently the Memphis said that they're not re-upping Dillon Brooks no matter what.
Which is messed up. You don't say that about that man.
And then you're putting him out there, you're scapegoating him.
That's what I mean. But you're discrediting what? Like, it wasn't Dillon Brooks. All the stuff was Ja. And what sucks, Dillon Brooks, as much as he talk junk, and I don't like Dillon Brooks at all. He played hard. And the problem in the NBA is he talked junk to LeBron.
Yeah.
And this is what makes LeBron not the greatest to me. Sorry, my generation, LeBron's not because Jordan, I was afraid to talk to Jordan because Jordan was gonna go in.
Yeah.
LeBron, hey, you talk junk to LeBron, now we're kicking you out of the league. Get out of my face, man. That's crazy.
Sounds about right.
That's crazy.
I was watching
I don't like Jordan because my brother liked Jordan. He liked the Bulls, and Jordan was dark skin. Fuck that nigga. Like, sorry, Kelly. But
no, you good.
But it's You hear all these stories. People talk to Jordan, and players are like, "Yo, what are you doing?" This dude talking to LeBron, and it's like the team is saying, "Oh, we don't want him to come back." He's better than a lot of people you're gonna pick up. Sorry.
Yeah, you're gonna get who? Who are you gonna pick up for what he's gonna do? Because he said that he asked for a bigger role. He didn't want to just be a 3-and-D guy. And again, what people don't understand is in order to be successful at any level of basketball, you have to walk on the court and believe that you're the best player out there. Even if it's, crazy.
Right.
You have to believe that. You have to believe that.
But with that belief, you also gotta fit into that role, whatever situation you're in.
Yes. What do you think about Ja Morant being back in like 2 weeks from what he did? Like, what could
Mitch, I have a question for you with his question. What do you see from a business standpoint with that?
Oh, well, I mean, that's basically the answer right there. I mean, the bottom line is, like you said, if that was Dylan Brooks, like he would have been ghost and, wouldn't have been coming back. Forget the separate from the LeBron thing, right? So, and that same thing is true for pretty much any number one, number two on any NBA team. If the number 5 guy does that, we're not seeing him again this season. But listen, it's a business. Like the NBA became a business in the early 2000s when you saw the switch happen, and it went from being about basketball to being about entertainment. And then think about it, the NBA pretty much blew up over the last like 20 years, right?
Listen, that's why they love Steph Curry so much.
Yeah, so like it became about entertainment. It came about how do we fuel action? How do we fuel entertainment? And therefore, how do we make more money, right? The NBA became more profitable than it ever was, right? And on the flip side, it's a sacrifice of what? It's a sacrifice of the actual game of basketball. You know what I mean? And on top of that, I think that bleeds into, the younger cats playing ball. And you talk about like everyone just talking now and everyone talking shit. And like, because the NBA, when we were like 80s and 90s, was about basketball, right? And then after that, it became about entertainment. So I'm not surprised that these high school cats are, rolling the way they do and just, because you got to put on a show now when you play ball. You can't just play ball.
Yeah. Well,
no,
I mean,
you can't.
I mean, you could look at the NBA when the Knicks, what was it, last year, 804, when they kicked out Charles Oakley from MSG. That shows they don't care about basketball, because that was the one rare time the Knicks were actually relevant consistently.
Yeah.
There's only been a few times the Knicks were relevant consistently. When that was one of the rare times they were. And this is the dude who was the owner at that time as well, who kicked him out. It shows you don't care about the game, because if you cared about the game, you would care about this man being able to roam how he wants to roam.
Do you think that it's interesting now, Mitch, talking about your paradigm shift to a more business model, that if you take Gilbert Arenas, who tried, I don't think he really tried, but he sort of tried to stick up for Ja. Gilbert Arenas got caught with bringing guns to the thing. And I think what's happened is Gilbert Arenas has tried to whitewash that story over and over and over again. The more he tells it, the more it becomes, oh, no, I was eating fiddle faddle with my teammate. And he said, blah, 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 blah. From when it happened. And I remember when it happened, I don't know how old you are, but I know, I was like, Ray, I don't know how you were, I know I was like, what?
I was in high school.
He brought a gun to why? And the story even came out in pieces, but now that he tells the story, you're like, well, this doesn't make sense. Do you think it's, and Gilbert was a big star at that point. So
on his 3 or 4 year run, we
right.
More
of a star than Ja. Ja's what, in his 4th year, 5th year?
See, but the difference with Gil and Ja is because Gil was an a-hole, they didn't pick him high enough to portray what he was going to be. Now, right. Ja was picked high enough where it's like he's supposed to have this. Gil was a 2nd-round pick.
Right.
Who was supposed to be a 1st-round pick. But now, when we go back to stuff like with Gil, it's the upbringing, bro. Because John's saying it's the upbringing. It's you try too hard to portray something you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, they just shut the lights out on him.
Can't hear you, Ray.
Your audio went good.
Ray, can't hear you.
You brought a gun to the arena when what are you doing?
Here's my thing is, like, I don't understand the point of this because, like, these cats are going to facilities that have security, right?
Yes, exactly.
Planes that have security. They got team personnel around them most of the time. And then it's like, yo, if you want to go out, hell, you can afford it. Hire security. Like,
but even on the aspect of higher security, I'm going out with a bunch of people who's going with me for free, who I'm paying for, right?
Yeah.
Now, take Achilles. I got Achilles and my boy Dre, right? These are two people who everyone else probably doesn't have these people who were adults, but have two people who don't drink. Now, with these two people who's going to go out with me regardless because I want them with me and they're willing to go out because I want them with me. If I said, hey, you're sober, you're driving today, here's $100. I'm still taking care of the night because I can afford that. Here's $100. They won't say no to that unless they can say, yo, you my boy, ain't taking your money. You know what I'm saying? Now, other people, they have the gangsters who's carrying on them regardless. Hey, you keep it, you protect us, here's $100. Or 1,000, whatever in your price range. But you know, because you're going out with me, you can't get in this party without me. You can't get in these events without me. If something happens, you're taking a rap. And I'm not saying that's the right way, but if you're dealing with these people, in their mind, that might be the right way. Or set them up the right way. I'm going to get you a security license. You're the shooter already. You're the thug already. You always out already. I'm getting you this stuff. You're going to do this. You're a sucker. I just saw that shit. But for real, it's the same thing with Jason Kidd. When you heard he was when he got DWI on Long Island, you stupid, bro.
Right.
Yeah, that's for real. Like, honestly, like, why are you ever driving?
These NFL guys, NFL has a service to come pick you up from wherever you are.
Who's the guy that
next level?
Who's the guy that got the ticket for going like 140 in the school zone or something ridiculous?
Ruggs about to go to jail for life, maybe. His girl died and he was speeding. And I'm mad because he played for Alabama.
Oh man, that's the problem. He played for Alabama.
Here's what's crazy about this. Like, I get it. Like, I want to drive fast in a fast car, but like, when you got that kind of money, you can just go get track time. Like, go get track time. Run that car on the track. You can do your $180, and you don't have to worry about getting in trouble, killing somebody, getting around. Like,
yeah, you're right. But that's the thing. It's like, are you that lazy that you don't want to do these things to make it right?
Do you think it's because we live in a social media world where, you know how many people tell me they learn about like great, like Jordan and Barkley? Oh, I've seen clips. Shaq and all of them. Well, have you ever watched them play a game? No, but I've seen clips. Do you think because we are in a society that is so like instant, I want to see the top 20 plays, and I think I know their game.
I mean, we've seen clips of Bill Russell. Clips of Oscar Robertson.
Yes.
Hey, you guys are older than me, but I've seen more clips of Dr. J, and you guys probably seen games. You know what I'm saying? So it's all the same thing. It's really all the same thing. The problem
is just more readily available now, though. Like, everything's a highlight reel.
Exactly.
And, like, social media is a highlight reel. You know what I mean?
That's the big thing. Like, I think more. We see it more in music, where if you like an artist, you might go find their music. But the problem is, like, okay, music will come out today, but music will come out tomorrow as well. So it's I could get an album of an artist today who I like, and tomorrow another artist comes out, and the day after, where I never get a chance to listen to whole albums because I know something's gonna come out, or the artist's gonna put out bullshit because they know how fast music comes out. They'll put out something today and they'll put out something next week. You know,
or like this just in time. You know, like you talk about, like, you know, with supplies and how everything got jammed up with COVID because we got to this like supply chain model where it's called just in time. right? Like no one wants to carry inventory, lean and mean, cut, keep costs low. And then when you got any kind of disruption in that and something like COVID happened, all of a sudden we were jammed up and it was like, oh shit, like we don't have a stockpile of any of this stuff, right? And now we can't get it because everything's shut down, right? That same thing is just like how, the example you're giving with the music, it's like everything's just in time. And it's like, everyone's just like, well, hold on, like something new, something better might be here tomorrow, or
and it's not appreciated as it should. We could see a play today, and then later on, because people are trying to do this crazy stuff, you see another play tomorrow. Or it could be a really good game, like a true game is going back and forth, but no one's gonna sit around and try to watch for the whole game. They're looking like, oh, I want to see like you said, the top plays.
Yeah, I think that bleeds over into just mentality. It's like you're trying to live your life like it's a highlight reel, and that's just not the reality. It's like the majority of life is the mundane routine.
But then you look at business. Business tries to adapt. Like the commercial, this Chick-fil-A commercial, they're putting it out on all social medias. Now it's funny because it's like all social medias, but then you look at it like who's actually watching TV like that. Like for myself, the only time I'm watching TV if a game comes like today, the games came on ABC. Besides that, I'm streaming. Like any.
No, you're right.
Any TV stuff, I have an app where I could watch the games, but I'm streaming stuff. So I probably will see that commercial more on what I watch opposed to actually watching on TV.
Yeah.
Do you feel that when we talk about kind of the business model that we are talking about and how we'll say actors and athletes and everybody, the need for immediate gratification that Ray was talking about, do you think that that's carrying over into, school? And is it carrying over into business where, Mitch, you're more into finance and you're more into stocks and crypto and Bipto and Mipto and Pepto-Bismol and all that stuff? Because you're into that more, is that carrying over into different facets of the world? And do you think this is a direct result of the pandemic?
I don't know. I think some lessons were learned from it. You know what I mean? And in business, the instant gratification thing was kind of always there because the whole get rich quick. I mean, that's been getting sold for 200 years. You know what I mean? In just different ways and facets. So I think the difference now is with the use of technology, it's actually more realistic to happen, like it's possible, and I think it just makes it that much more enticing, and people are willing to roll up and essentially do whatever they got to do to get that, what's the word I'm looking for, go viral, so to speak, even in business. And a lot of people now are focusing on their brand, their businesses themselves, right?
Oh yeah.
Like I'll tell you right now, like the best way to get rich in America now is to build yourself as a brand. And then as soon as you get enough following, enough notoriety, enough, you're recognizable enough, then at that point, you can branch into almost anything you want and make money. And like, that was always true of think about like actors, right? Back in the day before social media, actors always had that. And then athletes kind of had it too, right? But that was it. Now anyone can do it. You know what I mean? If Ray decided he wanted to go after it, he could be, Coach Ray and just, be all about hoop and somehow whatever.
Exactly.
He ends up going viral for whatever reason or another. And then once he's viral, he can sell anything hoop related he wants.
Because these companies are believing in the looks. They're not believing in me. They're believing in the looks because the message could get sent further.
Yeah. And here's the thing. So what's scary is I see this in terms of the investment side, and it's a running joke. Even I got a buddy that's has a day trading coaching business or whatever. He's a veteran trader. He's in his 50s. He's been doing it for 25 years, and he's got a good system that teaches people how to go about trading as a business, right? And how to actually build real success. And he always jokes around about you got these 22-year-olds on YouTube wearing a bow tie that have 150,000 followers telling people buying this, that, and the other thing. And the reality is they might not even actually be buying any of those stocks, or they basically just gambled. They went all in on a meme stock and were right, and they're just riding that wave now. And the reality is they don't really know much about actively trading and how to do that successfully as a business. And that's also something that's, kind of scary, because you have all these people following
it's the same thing.
Advice.
It's the same thing in the basketball world. You have one highlight from 5 different views, because we all got phones, and this dude's a top 10 recruit. And then when they get to this next level and they're not doing stuff, it's like it's funny. I didn't have a good season this year, and I had one of my players hounding me for the huddle to get his highlight film. I'm like, you want highlights from us like that? You know what I'm saying? But it shows, like you said, instant gratification. You can have one good play in a game where you still got smacked. And your friends talked about how you cross somebody or how you hit this step to the side jump shot. And they're like, oh, I want to see this game. And it's like, bro, you waiting to see us get crushed to see this one play because somebody said you did okay. It shows where your values are. And it sucks because that's how they're getting trained nowadays.
Look good first, win second. This is like that extrapolates outside of ball. Like, look good. Like, that's even in the finance world now. Like, look good first, win second. Because you know what? You can make a shitload of money by just looking good.
Yeah.
So
and
that's perfect.
What's the platform? Social media is the platform really that perpetuates that.
So the perfect example of a good transition to the transfer portal and how it's changed the whole dynamic of college hoops. Because if you talk about girls basketball, Angel Reese and Flo J and LSU won the championship. Well, Van Lith just joined.
No, but that's the girl from Louisville. She's going to LSU now.
Transferred to LSU next
year. What?
Because
she was in a great situation at LSU. Now you got to go and have to share the ball, and you're a scorer. And that shows the attention is more than the actual game.
Mm-hmm.
And what she doesn't understand, if they don't win, which on the real girls basketball level, UConn wasn't healthy at all.
Right.
UConn could be healthy next year. But if LSU doesn't win, they're going down probably the biggest bust in history. Come back from reigning national champions. You got your 2 best players, and you got one of the best guards in the country coming for no reason.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, and this transfers to the NBA a little bit, but I kind of want to stay with the portal for a minute because they changed the rules of the portal, right? When we were young, if you transferred, you had to sit out a year before you could play, right?
But COVID messed up everything.
Yeah.
They basically turned into free agency.
Yes.
Well,
exactly.
Because you can transfer now, play immediately. You can transfer a second time. You have to wait a year unless you have an extenuating mental health issue. So
mental health, where they can't check that.
What did COVID bring to the forefront? Mental health, right? So when we talk about the portal, is it like you guys are saying that these guys and girls are trying to find a situation where they look pretty?
It makes sense. I mean, that's another problem too. Think about it. Like, if someone's in, let's say, what they view as a shit situation, right? They don't have to try and make the best of that situation. They can just transfer out, right? Which sucks too, because I think a lot of character building isn't being built because you got these kids. There's a lot of situations where, transferring makes sense, but then there's also situations where if you would have stuck it out with that team, you actually would have ended up building something special, came out maybe a better player or a better person, and now you don't have that experience.
But you know what sucks with that though? Then they say it's okay then, but then get chastised when they're in a professional league and they say I'm ready to go. Because high school, the same way transfer portal was, high school was. If you went to a private school from a public school or public to a public, to make sure it was legal, you had to sit out a year. And that was 90s, early 2000s. Then kids started going and they stopped it. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with college. Now they were doing, if a kid wanted to transfer to my school today, he could, as long as he had an address, he could transfer and he could play for me. You know what I'm saying? But now you're allowing these things to happen, and then when in the pros, when I have one bad year, and it sucks, I blame it on someone else for my bad year. Not that I sucked. I blame it on someone else, and I want to leave. People are like, oh, you're not loyal, but you allowed this person to do this his whole life.
That's why when people get on, even LeBron to an extent, LeBron, KD, all these, what do you want them to do? Because and somebody was saying that Joy Taylor was on Speak, and she was saying, well, what more do you guys want Kevin Durant to do?
Joy Taylor's going to speak that way, and it sucks because what I like is that she actually stood up for something like that. Yeah. But I'm surprised she doesn't speak more for the loyalty, because her brother stayed in Miami for the longest.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. You got to give, because I was about to say, like, we're never going to see like a Stockton and Malone ever again, because like they'll basically these days 3-4 years of that. All right, we got to make a change, and it's like move to a different team to get that, you know, third star for the big three, so they can finally get over the hump, right? But you know what? I got to give Dame Lillard credit. That dude been staying in Portland. He ain't never gonna win a ring in Portland. He ain't getting any younger. Like,
nope. And he's saying, but the reason you'll never see Stockton Malone, the real reason, is because back in the day, these dudes didn't grow up as friends. It was like, I heard about this dude from across the country, and unless y'all both make it to a high level, whether it's high Division I or NBA, NFL, you're not playing them.
Yeah.
These AAU programs now, they all playing in the same tournaments. Only thing different if it's Nike or Adidas. These kids are friends. So we're gonna choose together for college, which is gonna mess up your own life learning, or we're gonna find a way to make it in the pros, which is gonna mess up your own life learning. Stockton Malone will never happen again, because it was like we got lucky and got put together, and we made a chemistry. These kids, they're all friends. Look, they ain't talk like as much as we talk about the junk talk. They ain't talking junk not because they're timid. They're friends. You know what I'm saying? And friends talk the most junk where it's not disrespectful. We playing sports, we chopping up after. But they're friends. They're buddies. That's why they ain't talking junk. So now when one dude talk junk, you see everybody else talking junk to them, and he's disrespectful, and he's wrong because he's the one dude's not friends.
I think the only person that you might see it with Murray and Jokic, because Jokic isn't from here.
The same thing.
Hey, me and Giannis and like
me and you had a conversation about Giannis, and I had a conversation with some Jacobs, the other fathers for my son's football team. Giannis is someone who's fine with small market because he's not from America.
Yeah.
And it's funny because they said something to me what opened my eyes. They were like, with Budenholzer getting fired, Giannis is gonna stay in Milwaukee for his career because he's gonna pick who his coach is. Because the rumor was he wants to come to the Knicks.
Giannis?
Yeah.
I can do that.
I can see it, but now I feel like he's gonna pick his coach and he's in Milwaukee, but he don't care about the big market because he don't understand it like a LeBron would.
But my question is, so what is a big market? And Mitch, you can talk about it from a business aspect. What does a big market even do for Giannis at this point? He already
does nothing. Giannis gonna make nothing. Giannis gonna make whatever he's gonna make. The big market aspect helps because Giannis ain't going nowhere without his brothers being there, which I respect because you took your power and you helped your family. But he's not gonna go nowhere where his brothers can't go. And the big market would have helped that. But I feel like Milwaukee helps him more because they want to keep him so bad they'll do whatever he wants.
Yeah. Well, and also, I mean, here's the plus side too. You know, basically, technology, internet, social media is that you can be in a small market and still like it's not hurting your earning power the way it was back in the day because you know Giannis is the brand, right? It has nothing to do with the Milwaukee Bucks, right? So like whether he's playing for the Bucks or the Wolves or like the Rockets, right? Different.
They know him more than they know the Bucks.
Exactly. Like he is the brand. You know, it's funny. The reason I thought of that is because it goes back to, I don't know if you guys saw one of the best sports interviews I think I've ever seen when Chad Ochocinco was on Shannon Sharp's show. And they had like an hour and a half long sit down. And I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched maybe like 20, 30 minutes of it. And he talked about that, you know, they were getting into all the stuff. They were even getting into just, you know, athletes coming into the league and like, you know, getting the bling and all the things or whatever. And, you know, have him like rep this certain like look of a lifestyle. And Ochocinco was just like, why? He was just like, no, like my brand, like Chad Ochocinco, like no other brand is gonna bring more to me than than me.
Chad Ochocinco said something which was over my head, and I never realized it. Is he was number 85, right? And he goes by Chad Ochocinco. Yeah. Ochocinco is not how you say 85.
Nope.
Ochocinco is 8'5". Like, but it shows like what you said, the brand.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He branded himself, and and that he really, and like that brand is the most valuable thing to him, and it doesn't matter. Like he's just like, what I need to wear Gucci. Why? He's like, that doesn't change that doesn't elevate my status. That doesn't do anything to my brand. He's like, I am my brand.
He said he get his stuff from Zara. He get from
he's like
players.
Spirit. He's like Spirit Airlines, exit row. That's it.
Uh-huh. Now, question: If Michael Jordan was in the social media era, so now flip it. To keep it regular. If the social media era was the same as it is now in the 90s, would he still be considered the best?
I mean, I think even more so. Because, I mean, everything would have been much more prevalent. You would have seen so much more of
I don't think he would, because I think he cared about his image so much, he wouldn't have been able to live his life like he needed to. I don't think he would have been able to do the gambling, the cigar smoking.
I see what you're saying from that aspect. I was just thinking from the basketball part.
No. The basketball, right. To me, the basketball stuff you can't change. But I feel like he needed his life to be his life to have the basketball.
No, you're right. I mean,
we know how to be a professional athlete, how insanely routine you have to be. Yeah. And when I say insanely routine, we're eating the same meals, and to our levels, we're eating the same meals, we're taking the same naps. We're having the same conversations, listening to the same music, watching the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to the point of the aspect of what we could actually control, because what could throw off our day and our game is that we had a class what wasn't canceled that day, what we're used to be canceled, Mm-hmm. But it's like, for his sake, caring about his image, because even to this day, Mike still cares about his image.
Oh yeah.
Do you think he would be the same player if he had to care about his image?
Like no, LeBron,
I would love to see a LeBron era where he didn't care about social media, because he still does the bullshit of social media stuff.
Yeah.
Nah, LeBron does a lot of stuff. LeBron does a lot of stuff that people just don't see.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. But it's also a difference of
the narrative always.
Yeah, but to me, it's also a difference of we could hide it, or I don't have to show it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's
there's a luxury that players don't have now that they did 20 years ago.
Exactly.
Jordan couldn't live the same life now because it's just like it all be out there.
Like even on the aspect of just having a bad game. It's like having a bad game. You can go to a press conference, and I could give a bad press conference and say I suck today. You can see it on ESPN if they show it. Besides that, it was gone. Nowadays, if I have a bad press conference, that's on forever.
Yeah. I think that I agree, but I think that everything Mike, because if we talk about Mike specifically, everything he did, people were following and talking about. We might not have gotten it as fast, but I think we got 90% of it.
You got the real deal with him still, because people watching him like he was Michael Jackson. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
at the same time, there was no smartphone, so all those people watching him weren't recording him.
But don't you think that he could have blended in because he was a regular sized dude though?
I mean,
like he was only 6'6", 200, 220. He wasn't.
Do you blend in? Do you think
not really blending?
No, but I blend in for the most part. I do for the most part, but in general, being 6'7", 280. You know what I mean? LeBron, 6'9", 280.
Well, yeah, LeBron, that's different. But LeBron also puts his stuff out there.
But he does because he wants, like you say, control the narrative. I'd rather put it out first than somebody put it out about me.
Right.
That makes sense.
Let alone,
I also think that.
Let alone taking away the conventionalness of us thinking as conventional people, this and that's right. Where LeBron could be out there living a certain life, and his wife or the kids could live in a certain life, but to us it looks different. So they have to show it first to act like they're normal. You know.
All I know is
I
jumped in for a cameo, and here I am 55 minutes later.
I'm glad you here, bro. I ain't see you.
I got a dip, bro. I'm well past my time.
His girl in the back, like you said, you was gonna be done in 10 minutes.
No, I ain't getting no pressure.
That's all right, Teresa. That's all right, Teresa. We got your back.
It ain't even like that. I've gotten zero pressure. I'm just a kind gentleman.
Well, Mitch, get yourself out. I'm about to run and get a drink real quick. Mitch, talk to him.
There you go.
I'll be right back.
Do it. Go get it.
So,
dude, it's just a completely different era. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of glad that, we grew up, watching sports in the era we did. I think it was more enjoyable, and it was like, it's overwhelming now. Like, I'm not into sports the way I used to be. And I'm like, is that because like, I just think I don't have time for it? Is it because that it's just so much more, you know what I mean? Between nonstop, between just social media, just ESPN, and it's like, and on top of that, they need something to talk about 24/7. Like, remember back in the day watching Sports Center? We'd watch literally Sports Center. It would literally be the same episode over and over and over. We watched it 4 times over, watching the same highlights, and it was awesome. And now it's like they have to have a different show, everything. It's in the end, they're talking about the same shit. And it's like literally like drama, think back even like, and it goes back to like that, I was talking about like Malone and Stockton, right? The reason you don't see that again is because people will just leave. Case in point, Westbrook and Durant in Oklahoma City. They could have, I don't know if they liked each other, they didn't like each other, but just hypothetically, I'm saying you got 2 top tier players that could have they maybe found a way to win a champion? Maybe not. They always, they couldn't get over the hump. They kept running into the, same squad. They kept running, it's just like, you're not going to see that because you don't have to stay. Like, you can try it once, twice, and it's like, this shit ain't working, I'm out. Right. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that was just like the closest example I can think of like a duo that, was top 5 players in the league, but couldn't get a title. You know what I mean? So, but
I mean, think about Kyrie and LeBron.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, they even got a ring and they still didn't keep it going.
Because the one thing that we started talking about, and this is how important is branding, and what they learned from college now with the NIL and all that stuff. They're trying to brand. Everybody's trying to be a brand. Exactly.
And listen, I'm not even mad at them for it because I see it. It's like you can build your personal brand, and once you do, you are pretty much set for life. Because then you're always going to be able to sponsor something, sell something. It doesn't mean you look at cats that got popular for like one thing, and that's like they're in completely different businesses now. I mean, you look at actors, they do that all the time. I mean, Ryan Reynolds did it. This dude went from being an actor to then doing a mobile phone company, and now which he like 10x his investment on, and now he's got a fucking soccer team that he's going to end up 10x in his investment on. Why? Because he brings the attention, he brings the eyeballs, which brings the money.
Yep.
And what's funny, these businesses, they'll invest in these people not because they have anything to do with nothing. They know they have people who follow.
Yeah. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So, and listen, trust me, I recognized this a couple of years ago. I got friends that are, building these coaching companies and all this thing. And I started hitting social media hard. I'm like, you know what? You build that following, and it's just like, it ain't me. I don't want to do it. It's miserable. You got to be posting 7 times a day. You got to do that shit straight for like, 2 years. I'm like, this ain't me. I don't want to live on social media. Like, and yeah, I can see that rainbow at the end with the big pot of gold, and it still ain't worth it for me because I don't want to live that life, But for people that do, like, take your shot, shoot your shot. You know what I'm saying?
But it gets so diluted now where
100%,
where you don't know what's actually legit and what's not. And it sucks because it's a lot of people losing out because they have the quality, they have the right stuff, but because it's simple for us to go and say, oh, I'm post, hey, I got this Nike shirt. Hey, basketball never stops, y'all.
Oh yeah,
Ray, keep it pushing. And people are like, I want to see Ray, and Ray don't got nothing to do with nothing. And Ray, his quality is shit, but then you got somebody who actually has something,
Well, and so like I'll leave with this point, to kind of just work off what you were saying. Like, you got to sensationalize. Like Achille likes what is that? The Meet Kevin, right? Financial guy. I mean, you joked and said like a couple years ago, you're like, dude, this is you on YouTube. Like, you know, he's kind of like into all the investments and all the stuff, and like, and you know what? You were like kind of spot on, because I'm like, yeah, I'm listening to this guy. But then like, you know, I saw how he like, you know, got extra popular on YouTube, and it was just like it started being clickbait titles, sensationalization, dramatic, and it's just like.
Did you see the episode? Did you see the episode? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Did you see the episode that we did when he was talking about one of his son's friends was?
Didn't see it. I haven't watched anything from him in like probably a year and a half now.
But what sucks is that you posting something gives people accessibility to you on an aspect of it's like, oh, I'm gonna say Mitch said this. People are gonna watch because they're used to watching you.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna watch. They end up watching that video, but they can't give any credit to the actual person. They can only give credit to the person they watched.
Yeah.
So then it's people who's not even doing the thing you do. They're just more getting popular off of what you actually did.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like
that's the thing. It's like, how do you
like, oh, this person said this. I'm about to watch this to see if they didn't even say it. And I'm like, half time I look at comments first. So I'm like, oh, if they can tell me if they actually said it or not, you know? Mm-hmm. But then you're looking, it's not even from the source who made it. That's the problem. Yep. But that dilutes the people who are actually coming out with real.
It's just my biggest issue with the whole thing is like I hate like the word influencer. I hate because like, you know, people look at influencers as experts, and it's like no, like they're literally influencers. Like most of them aren't experts at like
they're guiding your mind.
Yeah, it's just like
experts teach. Influences are guiding your mind to a light to look at.
Dude, it's somewhat scary. Like, you know, you got these people that are literally influencing segments of society that are either not good, not smart people, not good people, not like just people that should not be really getting listened to the way they are, right? Mm-hmm. That really in the end have no actual credibility or no actual experience or whatever it is. And that worries me because that information gets spread and then it becomes gospel, and then it's like you're operating off of poor information or a false narrative, or and that's why, like, honestly, I think Mike Judge is a genius, because the movie Idiocracy turns out to be like a prophecy, because our country is so slowly becoming in idiocracy, and 200 years from now maybe that movie will be true. So
influencer gave a title to people who do what they do,
to show offs,
because now not even necessarily show offs, because you have the show offs, yes, you have the real people, yes, and then you have the lazy people who's doing the same thing.
Yep. And
it gave a title to say this is fine.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because we all could be influencers. It's who takes it. Everything's subjective, but when we want to break it down, it's like, okay, the people who know what they're doing, who's doing it the right way, and then it's like the show offs, and then you lazy as fuck. You just taking over this person's opinion and try to. It's the same shit, because you don't know what's what. It's funny. It's funny because it dilutes everything.
100%.
That's why I'm about to start selling sugar and saying it's Coke, because everybody wants to sell stuff now.
Oh man! I was watching. On that note, I gotta bounce, y'all.
Yo, Mitch, always good seeing you, bro.
Ray, always good seeing you, man. So I'll be up in New York a couple times this summer, so we'll have to connect.
Bye, Teresa.
We get together.
I love you, Teresa. You're my best friend.
She can't hear you. She's in another room, man.
I'm gonna send her the video. That's all right.
Oh my God, I can't. Yo, Ray, that's your friend.
Mitch,
I'm out.
Mitch, when I went to go get a drink, I looked in the bedroom. Raymond and Jacob sleep. They was watching Sonic. They yell up on her phone, and I'm like, they sleep. She's like, oh, y'all ain't done yet. I'm like, Mitch about to get off. We ain't done yet. She's like, oh, I ain't told me all night.
You guys go another hour. All right, man. You guys get after it. I'll see you soon.
Good seeing you, bro.
All right, peace.
Later, Mitch. Yes, there we go.
The background back up, right?
Yes. What was I gonna say? All right, so one of the interesting things that I saw was I was watching Gilbert on Broussard and Ryan. What's his name?
Brian Windhorst?
Rob Parker.
Oh, Rob
Parker.
He sounds like a jump shooter. And
he's a baseball head.
Rob Parker is?
Baseball.
He's annoying to me.
You know why? I think baseball is his primary sport, and I feel like everybody.
I didn't listen before you just said that. I didn't know that he knew anything about baseball.
Yeah,
I've never heard him in baseball. I've heard him all basketball.
Mm-hmm. He does everything, but in the same way that Broussard does everything. But everybody has their string.
But you know what it is too. We talk about when we talk about social media and YouTube. Even with Broussard, I've never seen Broussard do anything else. But the times I've seen him, he's done basketball. When I've seen him like on ESPN, but then on YouTube, when they talk about ESPN stuff, if he said anything, it's been basketball. I've never seen Broussard do baseball.
I've seen him do football. I've seen him do a little baseball.
I've never seen him do football. I've just seen him do basketball because he loves LeBron.
Right.
Like Rob Parker, I've seen him just go at people for the people they like in basketball. I've never seen.
See, what I like about Parker is that he's older and he's got that old head mentality. Like
Rob Parker always ashy. I don't like ashy niggas on ESPN trying to debate me. I like, yo, bro, because in general, we talking about real sports. I would have to call him out for being ashy. I ain't even gonna lie.
He's so stupid. So Gil called in and he was saying that today's athletes can't handle criticism because they're so spoiled. And, we talked about this before, but that they basically never have anybody to tell them they're wrong or they're this and they're that. And I think that's why a lot of these players that are in that spotlight, not necessarily maybe KD, but more like the Jazz and all of them, like the kind of like that generation, they can't handle being told they're wrong because they never were.
I mean, I feel like Gilbert's son's gonna be good because
His daughter's supposed to be pretty good, I think.
His daughter's okay. Yeah. His son looks better because his son's younger.
Okay.
His daughter's like 10th, 11th grade. His son's 9th grade, like 6th or Kahoot. But they both could play. But I think Gilbert's son's gonna be good just because Gilbert with his son is overly trying to show I'm not doing the things what regular people do with regular celebrities do with their kids, regular generational people do with their kids, and spoil them. But like, I think he's right. But the problem is not just lying on sports kids. It was one time we took Raymond to the doctor, and Jacob came with us to the day before the cat scratched Jacob, right? So when we're there, Jacob had a bandage in his hand. The doctor said, "Oh, what's the bandage for?" I looked at Jacob. The doctor says, "Jake, don't look at him. What's the bandage for?" And he's like, "Oh, the cat scratched me." But it's given that flexibility that a kid has more power in certain ways than the adult has. So as the adult, we're going to now not discipline. You're going to now spoil. You're going to now do certain things because the kid could run to school and say, "My mom and my dad did A, B, and C," and they're not looking at why this happened. They're looking at, no, you did this to your child. You know what I'm saying? So what he's saying, I get it. Was these kids are spoiled. They are spoiled, let alone because you could get NIL deals in high school. A lot of these kids making more money than their parents, 14, 15, 16. I mean, I joke with people. I'm like, yo, when you go touch the door or you ask if you had McDonald's back in the day, your mom saying you got McDonald's money. When you touch refrigerators, like, did you pay for that? You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, you could do that. And it's like, nah, I could do whatever. Yeah, I got McDonald's money.
I did pay for it.
It's a difference. You know what I'm saying? But then now, when I don't care what profession you get in, it's the same thing. But when you get to that next level of being in that profession, when everybody does it, show colleagues who handles it the right way. A lot of people can't.
It's true.
Let alone, it's not fair for everyone because we talk about the Ja Morants where, hey, we invested $200 million guaranteed in you. You got more chances to mess up. You ain't kill nobody, right? All right, we straight. You ain't kill nobody. We straight. Oh, you got the gun on? We got a gun. How long you want to sit out? Oh, you've been sitting out already for 10 years. You straight. You know what I'm saying? opposed to the dude on the bench where it's like, oh, you got a gun on you? I see you in 2 years. Are you trying to come back from Shanghai? Like,
but that's true because talent will get you a lot of leeway with a lot of stuff.
uh-huh.
You know, like you said, even think about, Kobe and the stuff that he did, allegedly. He almost caught a rape charge and he would have been done.
Kobe, I don't know. I was at work yesterday, I think. No, it wasn't at work. It was at Jacob practice. We was talking about that yesterday. I said, Kobe just, the reason he got put in the bad situation, he worked too hard because they found all those semen samples on. That means Kobe was hooping when he should have been getting it in. And by the time he got a chance to get it in, it was like, we all went, Kobe, it's your turn, bro. So instead of him going in one hole, he went another.
Let me ask you a question about Russ, your boy. You had a chance to meet him. He said he's a really nice guy, and
he worked hard.
Yeah, you said he worked really hard. Do you think that the narrative around who he is different than who he is, and that affects what people think of him?
I mean, the narrative with anyone is hard because you judge them off of what you know. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times we know from their game, so you judge them off their game. And people equate good productivity and profession to good person when that doesn't mean anything. Mm-hmm. If we look at Russ's career, he did better when he had less, but that also was because he was able to be him, opposed to having to adjust to somebody else. With him, they put him in certain situations, like with him being with the Lakers, because he had a name. They put more pressure on the things he did. They whole team shoot, but you talking about they call him Russell Westbrook, and they whole team shoot. You know what I'm saying? You see him in certain situations, like when he was on the Wizards, he was out there hooping, but he hooped the same. He's the same as when he was on OKC without KD. You know, but he's also a type of person to me. It's that when he has more, he does worse. Like he's a less is better type person, because I also feel like you don't blame him for a lot of stuff because everybody else isn't as good. He has to be blamed. That's where it's the problem. And we also got to deal with celebrities who watch the same TV we watch. So sometimes you justify your own actions with other people's feelings. So now when Russ ain't doing well and they talking about Russell Westbrook, you could be on this team, you looking like, yeah, Russell Westbrook. It's like, nah, they ain't justifying you sucking. They justify him because he got a name, because he had MVPs and things like that.
Right.
You know? As a person, he was great too. As a basketball player, yeah, he got his flaws, but who don't got their flaws?
Yeah, what basketball player is perfect?
You know what I'm saying? Like in retrospect, people you coach, people you're around as friends, it's like, yeah, they could be good people, but when it comes down to their professional or flip-flop, they could be bad in their professional, and people look like, oh, they suck. Well, this is a good person. You know what I'm saying? It's different things. But it's also what you're looking at them for. If I'm looking at for a person, it's one thing. If I'm looking at it for a profession, it's like, you get out my face with that. So really finding the perfect blend where I got my flaws as a person, I got my flaws in a profession, but the pros outweigh the cons, you know?
Right. And I think it's interesting. I'm not a huge fan of Russ, but he does play hard. And I would have given them a better chance with him and Kawhi in the first round, because they almost pulled them kicking and screaming with them bums to beat Phoenix.
Look, when we talk about stats, when they want to bring up his stats, his whole career, when he played with KD, he had certain stats. When he played without KD, he had certain stats. Yep. When he played with stars, he had certain stats. Whether it was LeBron, Bradley Beal, he had certain. When he played without him, he had certain stats. Even this year, those games without Kawhi in the playoffs, he had 38 one game. where it's like I don't have my guy, I got to pick it up. He did what he had to do, but
Right.
I feel like because he has a name, you put focus on the people with the names on the team. You know what I'm saying? Like we talk Dylan Brooks, his situation. If Ja was talking junk, it's different. Like to me, with Dylan Brooks talking junk, I don't like who he was talking junk to because it's like, bro, you a role player talking to, and I'm not a LeBron fan, but talking to LeBron, I was more mad that it's one of those things where Dylan, you didn't sit around to hear from the media after you lost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you got to give Russ credit for that. Russ took those L's, then he sat there. He might not have talked for long, but he always talked.
Hey, listen, Marshawn Lynch, I'm just here because I don't want to be fined.
Yeah.
As much as it sounds funny, as much as it sounds stupid to some people, that's real life. It's you have obligations. I can't just say things to say things, and when it comes down for me to say things, it's like I can't. Like now, I don't work, be a man. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I would rather Dylan go up to LeBron, dap him up, yo. You know I'm talking because it's basketball stuff, but I respect you.
Right.
And I don't even like LeBron because I think he sold himself myself.
And Mr. Munoz, what's up, brother? Good to see you in the chat. And I think it's interesting that, you know, you bring that, like, if you juxtapose them, because it's easy to make the Draymonds and the Dylan Brooks and the Westbrooks and all of them the bad guys. And, you know, they have a lane they have to play in. And they have a way.
But that's the lane they have on their team.
Yeah.
Like I was in a barbershop joking, like, yo, people were like, who you like? I like the Knicks. That's my squad, and they lost today. I'm mad about that. But I'm like, they're like, oh, but you like the Warriors? I said the Warriors play good basketball, team basketball. That's what I like to see. They got my lights on the spot. And they're laughing. I'm like, you can't tell me Draymond don't look tougher with them. Like tougher.
Oh, yeah.
How he is with them light-skinned dudes. You talk about us being emotional or this, and they got Draymond who talking magic. You can't tell me he don't look tougher with the light-skinned dudes. You know what I'm saying? Let Draymond go somewhere else, Mike. Tech, that ain't you, Tech. You know what I mean?
Right. And
truth,
you know what the funny thing is? Like, people can say whatever they want. He's got 4 chips that he's contributed to.
Yes.
Playing his game.
Contributed where, hey, he might not be scoring the most, but if he wasn't there, they wouldn't get him.
Exactly.
And the same way you give him that, if Steph wasn't there, they wouldn't get him. The same way you give Steph that, if Clay wasn't there, you wouldn't get him.
Yep.
They all played a part to this puzzle.
Because they fit.
Yes.
They fit together.
They're all pieces.
And people don't. What's up, brother Matt? What you doing? What are you listening to? I mean, where were you? Not what are you listening to? Where were you?
I have to say he better listen to us.
He said he was.
Tap in and say, "What's up, y'all?" and then go.
So, all right. We talked a lot about hoops. Let's move into some of the stuff that's been going on with you. I don't want Danielle to get mad at me, so we're gonna.
We chilling, bro. We good.
I know. So you hear all this stuff. Girl dad, which I think you're just a dad or you're not a dad. And that's not shade for anybody that was doing a girl dad.
Listen, I want to have a girl. I got 2 boys, love them. I want to have a girl. I know it's differences to raising one or the other. I get that. Yeah. But what I respect is it's not even dad, it's father. Dad is your father's your taking responsibility.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So what do you got going? What's it like? You know, what's your legacy? What's going on with your boy dad isms and what's going on with the kids? I know they're getting big. One's 100, the other one's like 90 and all that stuff.
Jacob, he's in football, basketball, karate. He actually had a pick 6 today.
Oh, okay.
His first picks, you don't know how hyped I was. First picks, and it sucks because they coach don't know what the hell. They got 2 dudes. They don't know what they doing, bro. Where it's like Jacob had a pick 6, and for real, the next time they was on defense, he wasn't in. I'm looking like I'm mad he ain't in. Not because he got a pick 6, but it's like if he didn't get a pick 6, the next play he would have been in. You know what I'm saying? But they got that. Karate's going well.
Good.
Basketball, I'm about to start really locking in with him. Just because he's in 5th grade now, about to be in the 5th grade. But in 7th grade, he got to try out for a team. So I got to lock in with him. Raymond doing good soccer, loving soccer. It's crazy. He's crazy. Loving it. I want to have another one.
Oh boy.
Hoping to have a girl. If I have a girl, I'm getting a vasectomy, bro.
You better get 2.
Just make sure, right? If I have a boy, it's another thought. But things are going well with the kids, bro. That's the main pushing through. You know what? We got this summer basketball going. We got to get it rocking. You win it. You win it.
I don't play basketball. I'm a badminton player. Matt, how was the movie?
We talk about coaching these kids, but no, it's good, bro.
Good. So interesting that I saw a video, and I want your opinion on this as a dad, not necessarily as a coach. Ref gets punched by a parent. He's just chilling there. And then another parent jumps in, and then one of the players jump in. So basically, these 3 guys, or 2.5 guys, jump him and start beating him up because they didn't agree with his calls. What do you think about, when does it stop for parents in trying to stick up for their kids? Because you've had similar situations.
The disagreement with refs don't ever have to stop, but action is different.
Yeah.
Because the disagreement is, I seen this, you seen that. Not saying I'm right, not saying you right. I seen it a way, you seen it a way. Perception is a motherfucker. We know that.
Right.
But action is different because we live in a world, and where people bring it to race a lot, but take race out of it. We live in a world where power rules over anyone. So how would you handle if you have an occupation? And I'm not saying job, because occupation is bigger, what means more, right? You had an occupation where the person above you ruled differently than you thought. How are you going to handle that? Are you going to take it and eat it, which 99% of people are? And you can be mad. You can say you want taking and eating. It has that. Say what you want, whatever. You can take it and eat it, or you can fight, which 1% will do. What are you teaching for your child? Because overall in sports, we playing a game. So what are we teaching for life? You know what I'm saying? And to fight a ref, as much as I could tell you myself as a coach, I would want to. That's their job to do what they got to do. My job is to prepare my kids and to keep my kids to a certain level. If my kids see me fight the ref, I can't stop them from fighting the ref. And I didn't see that video, but I look at those people where it's like, how much is this worth to you to do that? Because now you're going to jail.
Yeah. And what's going to happen is, you're putting. I was watching.
As a coach, I don't want those kids on my team.
That's what I was watching a video where,
because I might have to deal with that.
The commentator was saying you're hurting your kids' recruiting ability because who wants to deal with a parent that's going to punch a ref in the face?
I had a kid. We had a summer league game a couple of years ago, and the mom got into it with another parent. It got deaded off, and I went up to her and I said, "Hey, you're not wrong to feel how you feel. That's your son." I said, "But don't hurt your son." She said, "What do you mean?" I said, "If a college coach is here, he's not looking at the aspect of what's going on. He's looking at how people handle it. Now, this kid has a parent who's willing to go to that level with someone else and not take advice or whatever from someone else. I don't want that kid. Because imagine I brought that kid to my college. Administration's looking like, that parent's this way and you brought him in, I got to get you out of here. Well, you say hurt recruiting. You know what I'm saying? They're not taking the regular level. We take it as, oh, she's protecting her son. They're not taking that level. They're taking it as, this is drama. We don't want that link to it.
Funny story. When I was in my senior year of college in undergrad. I wrote for the school newspaper. I had a column. It was called "One Time at Band Camp." So we were playing our rival, like the next town over. Big every year. Big.
That was USM. Yep, that was USM to us.
Huh?
That was USM to us. Any local bar, whatever, we was together there and stuff like that. They right there. I know what you mean.
Yeah. We go to the movie theaters and we saw them, and
You saw
they
people,
were hard and nothing stupid. Just talking. Oh, you suck. Blah 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 blah. But always like respectful, like I said. So we're winning the game. Our the president of a college comes in, and he sits in their section. Right? I'm like, that's weird. Why is he sitting in their section? So column, I wrote a commentary about why is he sitting in the section, right? Let me tell you. Wrote the column, whatever. People were like, oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. He calls me into his office, right, the next week for a meeting to discuss the article. Didn't get in trouble or anything, but people don't realize how people are always watching.
Yes, people perceive things.
That's the president of the college.
Mm-hmm. Listen, you say that we had the president of our college. His daughter went to our school. Smart girl. People wanted her, and she dealt with who she dealt with. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Major, so she's probably a nurse or a doctor now. But when it was parties on campus, when you gotta walk one side to the other side, she had to pee. She used to out of nowhere sprint off, like for real, out of nowhere, just sprint.
Mm-hmm.
You see her drop her drawers and pee right there. I'm looking at her confused. I was like, yo, don't do that. Oh, I had to pee. You understand who you represent? Besides your father being your father, he's the president of the school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Everybody knows who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows you.
You don't gotta know who's looking at you, but somebody's looking at. Oh, that's the president of school daughter right there.
Think about Ramel and Jamel Allen from Brentwood. I'm not very nice kids. When you sat and talked to them, I heard one person say that the only issue with Ramel was that he seemed like sometimes he wasn't coachable.
That was the young one.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But Jamel, the older one, who was
much better, he was the one who was willing to listen.
Mm-hmm. So he got his chance to do stuff.
And the young one was, and it's not taken away from him or his game. The young one, they gave him a lot off of who his brother was.
Right. Yes. And it was like, oh, okay.
And the pops always was cool people. You would never know the kids was that good because the pops
exactly
humble, cool dude.
Yeah. And like I said, I know the older one went upstate and I think they lost, but he had 25 or 30 in the championship. So, good for him. He did well. And it's just like the little things like that. Like, it's not just you. If you can put the ball in the basket, great. But that's not all there is to it.
Do. Like you putting the ball in the basket, like big whoop. That's the game.
Yeah.
That's the game. Okay. You're doing what you're supposed to do. It's like, oh, we're playing Monopoly. You have to roll the dice. Okay, I'm rolling. I'm not gonna say, yeah, you rolled that. This is a part of the game, bro.
Yep. It's crazy, and a lot of that stuff is just kind of like going on. All right. So as we kind of wrap up in a few, top 5 movies of all time.
All time.
Yeah.
This isn't in order.
This is in order.
Sunday's number 1 though. Any Given Sunday's number 1. I can say that all the time.
Okay.
Remember the Titans?
Oh.
Yes. Denzel. You know that Above the Rim.
Ooh.
Sunset Park.
Time to get live. It's time to represent.
And the House Party series together.
Oh.
House Party.
That's number 1?
No, Any Given Sunday is number 1.
Oh, you went down. Oh, okay, wonderful. Oh,
I won't
okay.
New York yet.
Um,
Cause House Party be 5. Remember the
yeah.
just 2. But yeah, that's what it is.
Nice. Oh, what do you think of Jamie
Number
Foxx
6.
and LL
Sorry.
at the beef?
Number 6. Number 6. Nick at Night Theater with Shaq Theater. The one with my man Robert Richard, light skinned dude who played Cousin Skeeter's cousin. He played basketball on that. It was number 6. Or number 7, the low budget, the red sneakers. It was like Mike, but it was the red sneakers. You know what I'm talking about or no?
No, I know like Mike. I don't know if I know the low budget
Nah,
one.
the red sneakers was called. It was the red sneakers. He dude, what these red sneakers? They was red Nikes. At least they was Nikes. But light skinned dude was in it, and it was another dude from a different show I used to watch. Don't know none of their names, but dude was hooping until his red sneakers went, and then he started like coaching at the end because like his sneakers went away. Like Mike at least stopped because he was a kid. This dude was a high school. He was teaching him like the isosceles triangle and stuff like that. And when he got sneakers, he was hooping. But same premise. He got sneakers, got cocky, and when his sneakers broke, it was over. It was one of them Showtime movies back in the day when Showtime wasn't doing what movies do now. It was just like, y'all cameras don't work like regular movies camera work, you know?
Right. And any given Sunday, LL and Jamie Foxx had that bootleg beef.
The bootleg real beef though, because
the real beef that carried over. Is it like that with offense and defensive player, or the offense and the defense?
T.O. was in the movie. Bill Bellamy was receiver.
Yeah.
T.O. was really scoring touchdowns in the movie with his last name Owens on the jersey. I'm like, yo, bro, you could have used something different. But that was my favorite movie ever.
Is offense and defense really like that? Do they really beef like that?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because it's one of those things where if you're playing professionally, because it was fake professional, you have people who's not playing both sides. So you could get to those points where you could actually scrimmage, go against each other where it matters, and learn from each other. But in turn, you have that sense of I can't go too hard because if I hurt this person or if I do too much to this person, I might mess with the team. Or and on the selfish aspect, not even mess with the team, I make it harder for myself. Like if you had to say a receiver who is nice on my offense and I'm on a first team defense and we have enough people, if I rock this person, if I hurt them, then it's messing my first team offense. So it's more where we have to get stops on defense, opposed to if this dude helps us score touchdowns in this possession, we could play and not get stops is different, you know? But I like the aspect of it was his third string quarterback. He got his chance. They showed in a lot of times where we see players who don't get a chance who's good enough to play. He got a shot. You see when the celebrity got to him, you know? Fox is going through what he's going through right now. That's sad.
You said what?
It sucks he's going through what he's going through right now. It's sad.
Oh yeah, did you hear that? He had some kind of like brain injury or something.
Yeah. He's one of the most talented people out there.
Oh yeah. Nick Cannon's really talented. Whether you like him or not, Nick Cannon's really talented too. Like you don't have to like,
but not like Jamie though.
Oh no, it's different level.
Yeah.
But Nick Cannon was writing. He was writing all that. I saw an interview when he was saying that when he was on all that, he was like 16, 17, writing.
Yeah, he was a kid.
Yeah, and it's just like they just let him go, and then he was on in front of the camera, and then he started rapping, and then he got that, and he got a hookup with Drumline.
I'm a gigolo with a B2K and Nick Cannon.
Top 5 rappers.
Yeah. Pusha T, Joe Budden. I can't say they by top 2, but Pusha T, Joe Budden, Tupac, G. I'm trying to see who my 5th. Oh man, that's 4. Yeah, I know that's 4. My 5th.
I'm a grown man, not B2K. If I have a grown man, it won't
I'm a
be
B2K. You can't say that now. You get locked up. My 5th probably might be Method Man, bro.
Oh, okay. When you saw NBA's best kept secret when I sent you it, what did you think of it? That's real.
That's what I thought.
Did you listen to it?
No.
This is the Kobe's bars?
I've heard Kobe's bars before, and I want him to shoot mid-range jump shots instead. But when I sent KD, player hating on the player. Girls, see me in the lane, I'm the truth. You the man. What? Ball girl, get it in. That you don't remember that? But it's funny because when I told you what it was from, you was like, yeah, I get it. Because that was from when I was in college, bro.
Yeah. Oh, when you were in college. What year was that?
2006, 2010.
I was already working. I was already done with grad school by then.
You was grown.
I was grown. Who what made you a better coach? Being a quarterback or being a point guard? And both
now this goes to my childhood though. I grew up with my older brother Bill, 5 years older than me. So I grew up with the aspect of
shout out to Billy Badass, my guy.
Yeah, you know that, Bill crazy. But, let's get your cramp. Hold on, I gotta cramp my leg. Not even gonna lie. I'm stretching right now. But I grew up with him and his friends. So you know what it is. I get the little man pass me the ball, I'll pass it back to you. They won't pass it back. If it wasn't for me being a quarterback, I would have been a ball hog. Because I realized with them, it's like if I want the ball, they wouldn't pass it to me. If I want the ball, I got to get a rebound. That's what made me a really good rebounder. I have to go get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But being a quarterback made me have to distribute it where it's like I'm getting it to people. But like I said, if it wasn't for me playing football, being a quarterback, I wouldn't have passed to nobody because they weren't giving me the rock. Because I was young. You know how it is. Young kid. Oh, give it here, young blood. You give it to him. Like, you be looking for the ball. You be ready. You be like, they ain't catching it about like no reason. But if it wasn't for me playing quarterback, I'd have been a straight ball hog, bro. And it's funny because me playing quarterback makes me pass too much.
Right. So conversely, I heard Gil say it, and I heard Kobe say it, and their whole kind of paradigm is, they said that they're a ball hog. People told them they were ball hogs, and Gil was quoting Kobe when Kobe said, "I'm in the gym. I'm at practice with these people. I'm putting in more work than them. I'm working harder than them. I see what they're not doing. So why should I pass them the ball?"
I mean, I get it. But on the flip side is this. I played with a dude who, LB Murphy. LB was nice. LB couldn't go left. He knew how to take that one dribble left before they make you think you're going left, you're going right. People used to call LB a ball hog. LB used to pass me the rock. And I tell people, like, you can't say he a ball hog. He used to pass the ball to people who did stuff with it.
Yeah.
Where at first he was timid with passing me the ball, but then he saw I would do something with it.
Yeah.
And what's funny about it, he had vision. Where you see certain passes, you wouldn't expect it for somebody who was that timid with it. But he was more, I'll give it to motherfuckers who know what to do with it. You know what I'm saying? So I can that. Like, dudes, you hear the same stories about Kobe where it's like, if you get past, he passes you, don't do nothing with it, he ain't giving it up. Who you gonna trust? You heard what Anton Tyler said. You gotta trust me. Anton Tyler died, bro. Anton Tyler died. Like, Kenny started passing to the air because he knew his brother was there for his back. And it's funny you laughing because you know what I'm talking about. That's my number 6 movie. Take whatever I said for, but the Lucky Sneakers on that. Number 6 is 6 Man. My man Anton Tyler started the team, bro.
Oh my God, you're a fool.
Anton Tyler started the team. You see my cocked up. You see how Marlon said that? I would move that to number 3. That's number 3.
Oh Lord.
That's number 3, bro.
Friedrich Nietzsche said, "In those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who couldn't hear the music. We talk a lot about a lot of different things. And, you know, you've dealt with politics and work in various different ways. Do you think that when people don't hear the same kind of music as you do or understand what you're dancing to and what you're about, can you get easily overlooked?
Yes.
Because they don't understand you.
Yes, because they're not taught to ask.
Mm.
We're not taught to ask. We're taught to do.
Mm.
And we're taught that when people don't do the same, I mean, flip it. When we're kids, the friends we have besides school are the kids to the parents that our parents are cool with.
Yeah.
So 9 times out of 10, it's they friends who they grew up with, or friends because they do the same activities, because same activities. So it's always similar things. So we're not taught that different is okay. We're taught that different is wrong.
Right.
Where and different is wrong from a perspective of what I say is wrong is wrong. Sometimes
right.
you be wrong yourself. But different isn't wrong. Different is different. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of politics and not understanding, I personally think Budenhauser didn't make any adjustments from 2 years ago when they won, even though they won the chip. They got very lucky because the whole.
Could be right. You could be right. But the number 1 overall seed, like this is a business move. The number 1 overall seed losing the first round. You never expected to happen, especially 7-game series. You never expected to happen. But you fire a coach when you let him be around for doing worse. Not even saying that, but for doing worse.
You know what happened to him too?
What?
His brother died. His brother died in a car accident.
Now you just put more on my heart for this.
His brother died in a car accident before he was born.
Now me saying that is this. The number 1 overall seed, this happens. You never wanted it to happen, but it happened. You fire him. It's 1 or 2 things. I'm gonna say 1 or 2 things. Between you and him, you already had the discussion. Or with Giannis, well, you know, like Giannis, he's done all he could do in Milwaukee. It's nothing I say he did do Milwaukee, and you know he ready to leave. We got to keep him here. And Giannis said, "Yo, I don't want this dude." Because with the team they have it for his style. As much as you could say they have a good team and you could say he's wrong, these guys might not fit the next coach's style.
No.
So what happens?
We know there's one person. We know there's 3 people they're keeping. Or 2 people.
Him, Middleton, and Jrue Holiday.
Him and his brothers. That's gonna be that roster.
You ain't lying. But me saying that, it's like, as much as you don't like how this man did, talking about Budenhauser, it fits his style. Now, what are you gonna do with the next coach when it's like, I don't see this future with these people? It's a different thing. So to me, it's a lot of background stuff we don't know.
Yeah. To me, it was. I think he really deserved to get fired after the year. I know they won the chip. The year they won the chip, I just don't think he made any adjustments. And I think,
but that's the problem with everyone in all fields.
Yeah.
When you see production, production don't mean everything is good. But when you see production, you don't look at criticism. It's like when you win a game, you don't criticize. When that's the biggest time to criticize, because as good as you want to get better. When you see these things, it could have went different. So now when it didn't work out, or for something slim, you find this where it's like, no, don't chastise him when in your eyes it went wrong. Chastise him when it wasn't wrong, even though we have success. Because then he could have changed and you get the ultimate good, you know?
Yep. What is it? So last question, probably. There might be 2 more. coaching. What's coaching looking like for you right now? What you're feeling on, first you personally, but what do you feel about coaches in general? Coaches is getting a bad rap.
For myself, coaching, I'm focused on my kids, bro.
Okay.
Jacob's 5th grade, about to be finished next month, going to 6th grade. Yeah, trying out for a middle school team.
Reach layup, yes.
So it's more on the aspect. I got to get him right, where he got to make a team. Watching, I'm happy that he's enjoying soccer. It's one of those things where I'm like hyped. It's a different experience.
You like sports?
Yes, but it's a different experience because it's like soccer is one thing. I grew up with black parents. We ain't do no soccer. Like I tell my friends, like I'm probably the one person you know in your life who never played soccer before. But hey, then it's me and you. That's why
I played 2 sports.
I played football, basketball, but I played T-ball one year. Didn't like that shit.
I played Little League baseball and I played basketball.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where it's like me seeing, like, when it's funny, he started soccer before he started preschool. He did well in soccer. I knew he was gonna do well in preschool. He loved preschool because it's like he's taking instruction from somebody he don't know. Jacob playing well now. I think he's old enough to enjoy that. He enjoys basketball. That when I kick in, we could understand what it means. You know what I'm saying? But
let me know. I open that gym up at 10 o'clock. Have them rolling there for my kids.
I know, but on the coaching aspect, coaches get a bad rap because these adults is bullshit. Like these adults want easy. These adults want people to blame, and these school districts want bullshit. Don't want to hold accountable. Like they don't like. To me, it's one of those things where it's like, unless a kid, and as much as we don't like AAU, I don't like AAU as much as I understand it's needed. You don't like AAU as much as you understand it's needed. As much as we don't like AAU, it's one of those things where if a kid coming up in the AAU ranks, you understand where he could go with it or where she could go with it. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, these school districts don't want kids to be accountable for themselves, because at the end of the day, they looking for the next adult to blame. Opposed to saying, you like this, you care about this, you got to get better. Because coaches, teachers, they all getting blamed for these kids who say they like something, they ain't doing what they supposed to do. You know what I mean? But for myself, as the parent, I got to be a better parent and make sure my kids put themselves in the best space to succeed.
That's true.
You know what I mean? As long as I do that, and that's what matters, bro.
Last question. If you could be in any TV series and you can't play a light-skinned person. No, I'm just kidding. If you could be in any TV series or movie, what kind of world would you want to be in? What TV series would you want to be in, or what movie would you want to be in?
Hang Time, NBC.
Okay, cool.
Listen, you know what's funny is that I know you know what that is. A lot of people don't know what that is. I would have been torching that chick. Nah, but any TV series, maybe the Wayans brothers. The Marlon and Sean was like genuinely hilarious. Like I like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air because Will had a good time. He was funny. Family, I like the show, but Eddie was weak as hell. Like he made the show weak as hell. Everybody else had a good role. Eddie was like, "Hey Steve, we should like you was cooler than Steve, bro." And Steve making himself look cooler than you. Stop that shit.
Stefan was cooler than everybody.
But Stefan, he had to go in the time in the machine for Stefan.
I know.
Because if I was Eddie and I seen Stefan, next time Steve tried to go, I'm like, yo, sit your ass down, bro. You ain't messing with my sister. I'll knock you out. Stop playing.
See, he messed up. Urkel should have kept going out with the other girl, not Laura.
With Myra.
Yeah.
Myra was much prettier than Laura. And
holding him down.
She held him down. in real life, she got in a car accident and died.
Oh,
But
really?
she did. That's she died in real life.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
But she was much prettier than Laura though. And then Laura got that short haircut. I'm like, nah, bro, you ain't in.
Yeah.
I'm like, Laura, you ain't in Vogue. Sit your ass down.
Lord, you're so silly.
Laura wanted to be an R&B singer so bad.
Last question. Who you got winning the championship this year? Playoffs. Don't even say the Knicks because you don't believe it.
No, hell no, I ain't saying the Knicks. And that's my squad. I ain't saying that. Them light-skinned boys from the Golden State. I don't even know what's going on right now. I hope they're winning.
Oh, let me see. Let's see if they winning. I can't stand Golden State anymore. But I like Golden State much more than I like the Lakers. Oh. Wait. Yup. Golden State got mollywopped.
For real?
127-97.
Wait. One what?
127-97, if this is right.
About 30? This is balling, bro.
I bet you Anthony Davis played good. When he plays good, they win.
And when he plays good, they win.
So he's going to play bad next game.
Yeah, you know that. Golden State can win in 7.
Oh, that's crazy.
I don't want
question.
Denver winning because I don't like Jokic because NBA want Jokic and how NBA is so racist. Jokic ain't even from America, and they want him to win so bad.
Jokic hoops though.
No, he's good. He is, but they want him to win MVPs and all this so bad. Just so a black dude don't win it. It's crazy, bro. Because somebody take someone like LeBron. Like LeBron deserves to win it more, and they don't give it to him. And they open up the no. I don't like LeBron, just like you don't.
I know,
but they open up the voting to other people because they don't want him to win it, and they know why because there's nobody else closer. Like Embiid should win it for what they did with Philly, but next year, same season with Philly, the same way how they did Russ. Yeah, right. Same season with Philly next year, and they won't even look at him. Like Russ, he had a triple-double. Only reason they gave him MVP because he had a triple-double. But the next year, he did the same thing. They didn't want to even look at him. That don't make sense to me.
All right, Coach. I appreciate your time.
Yo.
We are about to be out. We had 1 hour and 52 minutes.
I know. All right. That's crazy.
You know, wifeys are going to be like, what are you doing? You still talking?
I got the awards brunch in the morning.
Oh, okay. Stay on. We talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. All
right. I'll talk to you later, brother.
Yeah, whoever watching, they like Church of Lights again. Guys like eyes. You know what it
is. So, we'll be back the 20th with me, I believe, Mr. Danny and Mr. Nails. We're going to be talking about Death of the Family, the Joker movie. So I appreciate all y'all checking in. An apology without change is just manipulation.